How's it going, everybody? It's SoulCena11 here, and today I'm actually going to be teaching you guys basic derivatives. And before that, actually, I'm actually going to be teaching what a derivative really is. It's the instantaneous rate of change or the slope of the tangent line. So I know right now I'm just throwing a whole bunch of vocabulary at you. We're going to get to these. So if you understand what a derivative is and you kind of want to learn like the derivative of each unit or functions, for example, if you want to know the derivative of tangent x, skip this video. We're not going to be going over that. This is just the definition of derivatives. So let's get started, okay? We all know what a slope is, right? Like in the equation y equals mx plus b. This is a linear equation where m is our slope. We understand that, right? Derivative is pretty much the same thing. So let's take a look. So m equals delta y over delta x. For those of you that don't know what delta means, in math and science, delta just means the change of or the change in. So we can rewrite this as, in a way you guys have most likely seen this, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's just have an example of this, okay? Let's say you want to find the slope, let's change colors, between 3 comma, I'm just going to keep these in different colors, 3 comma 5 and let's see, I'll stay in green just to mark our x's, and negative 4 comma 11, okay? It really doesn't matter. So you have to identify your y coordinates, okay? It doesn't matter which coordinate you want to start with as long as you stay consistent. So if you call this y1, this has to be x1. If you call this y1, then you're going to call this y2. I should probably write this in a more neat fashion. I'm just kind of blitzing through. If you call this one y1, you're going to call this one y2. If you call this one y1, you're going to call this one y2. So I think you guys get the point. So let's just do this algebra. So we're just going to do 5 minus 11 divided by 3 minus negative 4. So we get on the top, 5 minus 11 is negative 6. For those of you that have trouble doing negative math in your head, subtracting a small positive number minus a larger negative number, what I like to do is 11 minus 5, which I think that's easier to do, right? We just say 6. And then I throw a negative in front of it. That's the way I learned when I was younger. Maybe that'll help you. I'm sure most of you already do that, but if you don't, that's one thing I like to do. 3 minus negative 4, negative, negative, make it positive, so it's just 3 plus 4, which is 7. So we get a slope, we get our slope equals negative 6 over 7. And do remember, this is y over x, which is a rise over run. I'm sure we all remember this, but just in case we forget, this just means rise over run. So yeah, that's pretty much what slope is. I'm sure most of you know that because you've come to pre-calc or calculus. So you guys know that. Great. Now let's talk about derivatives. So derivatives are the instantaneous rate of change. Derivatives, making sure I spell this right. So there are 3 ways to define this. Well, the first way is that this is a derivative. The second way is the instantaneous rate of change. Another way is the slope. There's that keyword slope that we were just talking about. Obviously, it has something to do with derivatives. Slope of the tangent line. And the equation, so I'm gonna, if you guys need to write this down, go ahead and write this down, or pause the video at least. I'll move on because you can just pause the video. if you want to understand the equation derivative of this, you may have seen the ugly difference quotient, which looks like f of x plus h minus f of x over h. Now I want to define this, okay? Because this is slope, okay? This equation right here, this is slope. And hopefully we all know this, okay? Let me put 2 parentheses there. We're saying the same thing when we say x comma y and x comma f of x. If you've always struggled with understanding what f of x truly means, it just means y. It means the y coordinate. So if you had 3, you would have f of 3, which means if you had an equation, for example, okay, f of x equals x squared minus 2x plus 1, okay? Saying f of 3 means you're plugging in 3 everywhere you see x. So 3 squared minus 2 times 3 plus 1, which gives us 9 minus 6 plus 1, which gives us, that's going to be 4. So f of 3 equals 4. So you could say 3 comma f of 3. I'm sure your teacher would prefer you to rather say 3 comma 4. Okay? That's simply what f of 3 means. Okay, so on an xy axis here, this would be your point, because this is 3 comma 4. Or again, 3 comma f of 3. It's all the same. It's all relative, okay? So back up here, let's go all the way back up here, okay? We talked about slope and how slope is defined as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, okay? How does that relate to the difference quotient? So take a look at this. y2 minus y1, and then you actually have x2 minus x1 down here. What I'm not showing you is x plus h minus x. And I want you guys to notice this, okay? Let me actually color code this. This might simplify this in a much better manner. So x plus, hold on, x plus h minus, and then we'll do this in orange, x. And now I'll just take this out and this out so you guys can see this, because this really helps to clarify this problem. F of x plus h, so the y value when we plug in the value x plus h minus the y value when we plug in x over, here's your first coordinate because you plugged this in up here, minus your second x coordinates. And we all know x minus x gives us 0. So you're just going to have 0 plus h, which is why your denominator is simply just all over h. Or your denominator is h, I'm sorry. Your whole fraction is over h. So yeah, that's still not the derivative, okay? That's still not the derivative. That's simply a more difficult manner of showing the equation of a secant line. So for example, if I draw an xy axis here and just draw the graph of x squared. I'm very sorry, I'm terrible grapher. So this is y equals x squared. And you wanted to find, let's see, just this, okay? You wanted to find the equation or the slope of this line, okay? So it crosses the graph, let me use a different color. It crosses the graph here and here, okay? So let's just say this coordinate is -1, 1, and this one is 2, 4, okay? So this is simple slope, right? We're going to have 1 minus 4 over negative 1 minus 2 gives us negative 3 over 3. The slope equals negative 1. That's not right. There we go. Sorry about that. So 1 minus 4 gives us negative 3. Negative 1 minus 2 gives us negative 3. So the slope is positive 1. I was kind of worried about myself right there, because you can obviously see the slope is positive here, because you're going from bottom left to top right. So slope has that general shape that's positive, that general shape that's negative. So yeah, you can still make careless mistakes. So try and avoid those, okay?